Is this thing straight? That doesn't matter. What is up, everybody? I am Taylor. Welcome to my channel, and this is a douchey hat. And this is a weird-ass comic. And I'm going to review this weird-ass comic courtesy of Just Mike 1975 on the Instagrams. He said, hey, I'm going to send you an ALK to review. And so I'm going to talk about it. It is Holliston, Carnival of Carnage. And this is damned weird. Apparently, near as I can tell, this is based on a TV series that I had never heard of called Holliston. It was filmed in 2012 and 2013. I think it had 2 seasons. Guest starred Dee Snider in a whole lot of it, and Otis Arungus from Guar. And I think when Arungus passed away, Otis Arungus, sorry, when he passed away, the show kind of went on hiatus. I think it was the end of it. But I think you can now view it on Shudder, which I do not have. And it's a slapsticky kind of horror comedy. And this is a slapsticky kind of horror comedy book. Trying to think of what it reminded me of, and the closest thing I can think of is maybe Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's got a ridiculous plot. It's got a Carnival of Carnage, which is, I think, also a Limp Bizkit album. They talk about that in here too. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. The art kind of reminds me of Jim Mahfood on Clerks, like his early Clerks run, if you ever read that. And actually the story's kind of similar too. It's like a lot of like jokes per page. Like you could count on like 2 or 3 kind of like sarcastic comments or visual gags or something. Like it's a joke a second here. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's fun. It's just such a weird ass book. It's like these 2 disgruntled people end up going to a carnival where there's a chili eating contest. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but like there's essentially zombies. They'll call them zombies. And then they have to cure the zombies and save the world. So the way they do that, yep, it involves, well, I don't want to spoil that either. But I think they replaced Dee Snider in this comic for rights reasons with somebody else. We'll just put it that way. And it still looks like Dee Snider, but it's just kind of a weird thing. Yeah, I don't know what the show is necessarily about, but I got a feeling it's a lot of this. It's a lot of like situational comedy and kind of just bizarre humor. I liked it for the most part. I do think just for my liking, and this is just a personal taste thing, I think it could have done with a few less jokes and a little bit more plot and story. It's just kind of like it is just sort of a stream of jokes, like loosely wrapped around a story, and there's not a whole lot of story. But I mean, what there is, it's entertaining. It's kind of it's a one shot. I don't know if there's any more comics in this. I'm honestly not so sure. It was Aries Scope and Source Point Press. I think Aries Scope probably did it first, and then Source Point Press did this. And it came out in 2018. Greg Wright is the writer. Steven Scherrar is the artist, or Scherrar, and Josh Werner on colors and design, I think. And then lettering is Justin Birch. I don't have any issues with lettering. Lettering is great. Lettering is easy to read. The lettering's, clear. It's all white, black text on white and word balloons that make sense and stuff. And the art itself, actually, for being cartoony and being kind of like over the top, it's pretty easy to follow, which is not necessarily always the case in some cartoony stuff. Like there's definitely a lot of overlaying panels and stuff, and it doesn't really follow a traditional grid. But you're not really ever confused as far as like which direction things go. It's all always pretty clear. Not a ton of splash pages. Not a ton of that kind of stuff. The characters are, for the most part, pretty recognizable. There's like 1 or 2 where I was like, is that this person or this person? But that was a minor little quibble. The artist does a great job with the facial expressions and the kind of over-the-top nature of that. Like, you always get an idea of what's going on in the character's head based on that. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of complaints about it, other than, like I said, it's a little too jokey for my perfect liking. But and not all the jokes land. I think that's gonna be the case when you have like the sheer number of jokes they added to this. Like, I mean, there's a ton in here. But when it does land, it's funny. And there's a lot of funny stuff. It's an amusing tale. I could see this being like a good episode of the show or a short movie or something like that. It's it's just ridiculous. I don't know what else to really say about it. Like, honestly, it's not my normal read, that's for sure. And I probably would never ever found it if it weren't for my buddy Mike. So go give Mike a follow on Instagram. Just do me that favor. He's I'll leave a link to the thing down below. It's just Mike 1975. He does a lot of mostly selling books through Instagram. And so if you want to buy some stuff, just go and buy it. If you want to copy this, he probably has like 40 of them. So just go hit him up and be like, hey, I want to buy a copy of Holliston, Carnival of Carnage. It's French. It's not French. Maybe it's French. I don't know. I don't know the etymology of the word carnage. But yeah, it'll make you not want to eat chili for a while. We'll put it that way. And yeah, it's a strange book. It's a trade paperback. I read it pretty quickly. I think probably one afternoon. I without really setting it down. Once you get going into it, like I was a little hesitant to start reading it at first, to be honest, because I'm like, well, this is definitely not my forte. And you can see a little bit of it where like the artist in the first 2 pages just like copies his own work and like pastes it, which I'm like, oh, all right, let's see that kind of thing. But then it picks up pretty quickly and it gets right into the madcap ridiculousness of it all, and I had a good time. Not a perfect book, not awful. It's better than fine. It's good, and yeah, give it a whirl if you can find it. So that's all I've got for now. Holliston, Carnival of Carnage. I'm not gonna. Haven't been doing these every week. I just kind of do these reviews. Well, when people send me books to review, I'll review them. Or if when the urge strikes me, people, when the urge strikes me, it's sort of like the urge to go to a carnival and eat tainted chili. All right, that's all I got. Don't be a dick, even if you go to a carnival and eat tainted chili. See ya.